Hey guys, welcome back to Tractors, Trails, and Living Free. And as promised in our last couple videos and such, we are going to show you a new attachment that I received for Christmas from my wife, and been anxious to try to break it out and use it here for a project. So, just to give you the quick overview of what we're going to do in this video, we had the top of an ash tree fall down, maybe the top fourth or third or so. And we kind of need to move it around, and this attachment might be the perfect thing to move it now without using our backs instead. So we're going to go ahead and fire up the tractors, get on over there, and we'll catch you back here in just a second. All right, guys, so just to let you know quickly what we got here. So what you're seeing here is the Titan Attachments skid steer quick attach pallet forks. And we got these set up, and it basically fits right onto the base, the bucket for the factory tractor, where it clips onto. Same as you might see on a skid steer. You just got a couple locking levers there. Just fold them upward, and pull them back to lock them in place, I believe. And just kind of slip it in there and scoop them up. Now, what we're going to do with it. So as you can see here, we've got some pretty substantial debris. This ash tree was probably about 90 feet high or so, and during a windstorm, it basically blew the whole top out of this, and it's been dead for a good long time. It's actually a good thing that it fell down, because if it wouldn't have fell down, it would have been high enough to potentially, hit a vehicle or maybe even hit the house. So now that it's lost about 20 feet of length or so of height, then we should be able to drop it sometime on our own now without it risking anything. So we'll see how strong this is. We don't really know how strong it'll be with the tractor itself. I don't really know what the weight swap out is between the pallet fork head and the bucket itself. So I don't know how much more weight we're adding there and such. So we're going to try to keep it close to there, and we'll see what we can lift. If we can't do too much, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab the chainsaw and take off some incremental lengths of it and see how much we got to take off for it to be able to lift out. So hopefully we have to do as little back work as possible, and hopefully the new pallet forks take care of the job for us. But I know one thing, it's going to save a lot of back work for when we're stacking logs back there and trying to put them on the back in our rec area and such. And so this is going to be an awesome attachment to use. So we'll just go ahead and get started here and let's just see what we can get done. So as we're checking this all out, I just wanted to point a couple things out to you. There's a couple areas there where some of the stuff that fell pretty much just drove itself into the ground. If someone would have actually been out here at the time, could have got injured or possibly killed. If you want to notice here, there's a whole branch here, pretty much just drove itself into the ground. You see from all the dirt moved around it. So I don't know how deep that thing is. Hopefully it's not too deep to lift out. But yeah, it's a good thing this thing fell.
Yeah, we've got another little one over here. Even this little one was drove in about 3 inches or so.
All right, so let's get this deadly thing out of the way. Got a little bit of air in the system still.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Shift it over that way a little bit.
So what I'm going to do now is, I'm not very centered from where he cut it.
I would center it on me.
I'm not very centered from where he cut it, so what I'm trying to do is kind of re-center here so I'm carrying the load right.
Kind of you're in the ground.
guess I needed to put it in 4-wheel drive there. So that's kind of a substantial log there. It's much bigger. It's much bigger, obviously, as you get towards the bottom. Where we cut it off, it's probably, I don't know, about 11, 12 inches in diameter. But pound for pound, if you remember from one of our first videos, the thumbnail said amazing lifting power. Pound for pound, I almost want to say the 430, that front cylinder on there almost seems a bit stronger than the one in Massey.
Seems pretty stable.
But now, where do we put it?
Back in and around over there, like just behind that one.
All right.
You can always move it.
Hop on. Let's see what we can do here.
Now you're good.
So the problem there is that there was a little sapling there to the right, but I couldn't go to the left because there was a fallen tree trunk there. So I had to work our way around it here. We're almost there here. There we go. Now, one thing I'll say about the kind of like about how it's carrying it really well. Like that's a lot of weight towards the front, but it seems like it's handling it really well. I'm not losing any traction to the back, so I guess what we're gonna do is we're just gonna dump it off here by this other fallen ash tree. There we go, perfect. So, in Ohio, I don't really know about other states around here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're not all there. But what we have is the emerald ash borer. So we've probably lost 4 or 5 larger ash trees around here recently, just from wind damage, because they basically bore in under the bark and basically kill the tree. So so yeah, we've lost a couple due to windstorms here. I've got this smaller piece, much easier to lift. Just take it away.
I'm gonna pull that off.
Perfect. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have Jason go ahead and jump back in the 430 and see if he can't move around and maneuver some of that stuff. Now he has that one that's kind of pegged right into the ground. It's gonna kind of stop him, so he's probably gonna have to maneuver around it, but we'll see what he can do while I go ahead and drop this off.
this thing moves. There it comes out of the ground. Yeah, it's starting to come out of the ground now, it looks like. Come on. There we go. Now it's up out of the ground. Get off and show you how far that one was in the ground. So this one right here, it was in the ground up to about that point right there. So that's a good foot and a half almost. So that was kind of shoved back down in this hole right here, keeping the rest of these from moving back this way. So I'll try to kind of bring it out here in the front. That way we can get it in the loader bucket or get some of the stuff off on the forks. So we'll see if I can't move some more of it. If I can't get a touch here. All right, there we go. 430 back out again.
So what do we got going on here?
Well,
what's holding us, what's keeping us from moving forward? Is that one still stuck in the ground?
No, I got it out.
Okay.
So that one's out of there. I think I'm gonna try to back up here and try to push this that way, but I think.
You want to try that?
Well, I think using
I think the next will be the bucket.
Yeah, the bucket will be the next thing that we're gonna use.
Okay.
I'll try the 430, see if I can't get some of the smaller stuff pushed forward a little more. But I think that was working really good because we don't have a lot of dirt in that pile. I don't want to push a bunch of dirt if we don't have to.
Yeah.
Which obviously the 430, it's a little front heavy and it doesn't have four-wheel drive, so it likes to sink itself down a little bit. So.
And see, my biggest concern right there when he was doing that was that same top fitting that broke before when we went over a log. So
yeah.
So But he kept it under in the safe range there, so that worked out pretty good. So I guess we'll just go ahead and give it a couple more pushes with the 430, see what happens. Maybe we'll give it another push with the forks.
Give it one more push with the 430, see if we can move some more stuff. Got a little more stuff to push forward. Reset here. Get a little more here. Yeah, I think that's about all the 430 has right here. So we piled it up a little more. Be a lot easier to pick up with the bucket. So I think that's what we're gonna go do right now is put the bucket on the Massey and get this all picked up. Coming. All right, up, back, scoop and score. Good to go.
See if we can't move this now. There you go.
I would come back in.
Well, we're getting it a little bit at a time here. There you go. That's the really nice thing about having a spotter on the ground, is that I don't really have a bucket level indicator, and there is a little bit of a blind spot there in front of the bucket, so it's not completely obvious where the bucket is at all times. So it's good to have him as a spotter, kind of watching what I'm doing. Well, I thought having forks would save Jason's back some. I guess in the end, there's no substitute for a little bit of elbow grease, unless you have a grapple, that is. All right, so we're gonna come back for one more load after this one. All right. That should do her. This should be the last load. We're kind of moving this off into the woods here. All right, guys. Well, seems like we got that whole mess all cleaned up. Those pallet forks were very helpful as far as like saving a lot of the heavy work. As you can see, it wasn't the be all end all. Like, unless you have a grapple where you can see through and just grab everything. But thankfully, we have a strong back here to get those little bits. Anyway, so yeah, we didn't have to lift any of the trunks anymore. If you remember from when we were clearing the trail at another video, we pretty much just had to roll them all up there manually and carry them really high, because if you tip the bucket forward or carried them low, it just roll right off. So I think that's the answer for a lot of our problems, and it really allows you to place stuff really really precisely in the spot. If you can get your forks lined up, just let it roll right into position. So I'm pretty happy with that. Once again, that was a gift from my wife on Christmas, and much appreciated, honey. And I don't know, got anything to say about it?
Well, it definitely helped out a lot. Like you said, took a lot of the manual labor out of the moving the big stuff. I mean, there's, you know, other than chopping it up a little bit and making it into manageable sized pieces for the tractor, it seemed to really helped because, you know, you're not moving by hand a lot of those big ones because it takes a lot out of you moving those by hand. You know, doing this little stuff, you know, it's nothing. So, yep, it's I think it really helped out. I think it saved our backs.
Yeah, I think we got a pretty much clean area. Hopefully, come springtime, that grass will rejuvenate, but we're not left with any big holes or depressions. So, and that was even after the 430 kind of got temporarily stuck there. So, thankfully, I had the Massey to push it out of the way with a nice gentle push. So, yeah, so that project's complete. Looks a little bit more sightly now. We'll kind of get this stuff ready where it can start growing grass here as we're coming into the spring. And yeah, that was a pretty rewarding project altogether. So glad to have those forks. There's other attachments we'd like to showcase for other projects we got coming up. We will see how that pans out, you know, finance and time wise. But other than that, yeah, it was a fun project, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So as usual, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And thank you all for watching. And we hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Tractors, Trails, and Living Free.